Shalom. Kohalo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And as you're seeing on the screen, the title of this video is Suspect ID Charged with Aggravated Murder. Ohio Deputy Remembered as a Great Guy. And what you're seeing now is, these devils are turning on each other. Because it's the end for them. And they know it. So these devils are gonna, how these devils get on social media and they ran and say how race war is coming, and you black people, you won't survive, and you can't even shoot straight or whatever. But they never take into account that it's gonna be their own people, their friendly neighborhood devil, their brother that's going to unalive them, man. And this is all prophecy. They're not going to care if you're a cop. These cops going to start getting put to death as well. Because, no matter what these officers do, how much they put to death unarmed Jakes and lock Jake up and, falsely and plant drugs on Jake, no matter what they do, they're always considered a great guy. A law-abiding officer, man. There's no wrong that these types of devils can do that people would, especially so-called white people, the Edomites, that they would say he's a bad person. But see, the Lord is getting rid of these people, man. Day by day, minute by minute. Esau, Edom is losing, and he can't take it. So, this is beautiful, man. I just wanted to do something on this, so I'm gonna let it play, and stop it here and there to bring out the scripture. So Lord willing, the elect be edified. Check it out.
Ohio mourns the loss of a Morrow County deputy. This is a picture of 31-year-old Daniel Shear. He was shot and killed while responding to a domestic violence call. Deputy Shear was a 4-year veteran of the Morrow County Sheriff's Office, and this was his first job in law enforcement. Good evening. I'm Mike McCarthy.
And I'm Jessica Ralston. We have live team coverage tonight. Tom Bosco is taking a closer look at how Deputy Shearer is being remembered. Kirsten Lindquist shows us what neighbors say they saw and why they are in disbelief. But first, court records revealing in vivid detail the violent, volatile situation that Deputy Shearer found himself in. Shots had already been fired before he arrived on the scene.
Today, we learned bullets struck a neighboring home and a nearby truck as well. Investigators say Deputy Shearer then encountered armed suspect Brian Wilson. Tonight, he is charged with aggravated murder, and we are learning what led to a shootout. The deadly confrontation happened at the porch of a Marengo home. It's where court records reveal Morrow County Deputy Daniel Shear's body camera recorded him first interacting with armed suspect Brian Wilson after 7:30 last night. This is Wilson's picture from a
And this is the devil right here. And the fat, devil. You see, these devils with their blessing, the same thing that they've gotten to be their blessing is going to be their downfall, man. It's going to be to their destruction. That's just what's going to happen in these last days, man. They're going to turn their blessing on themselves. and it's beautiful, man. And statistics, it was a brother bringing it out that these so-called white men are leading in every category of crime, but yet they would push it off in mainstream media as Jake doing all the crime, man. Robbers, drug dealers, grapists. Esau Edom is number one in all of that, man. But they'll never highlight that because they want to be known as pure. They want to be known as the righteous, but in all reality, they are the wicked. They are the wicked, man, and the most vile people on the earth, man. And the Lord said that they can't be made straight. They were born crooked. They were made crooked from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know?
2009 arrest. Records show a neighbor warned the deputy Wilson had already fired shots Monday night and said, quote, "If I was going to die tonight, I'd be okay with it." Records also reveal details of a conversation between Wilson and the deputy, with Wilson saying, quote, "Don't come up here," and, quote, "I'm not in the expletive mood." When the deputy tried to de-escalate the situation by talking with Wilson, Wilson said, quote, "I will expletive kill you." Then going on to say, quote, "I'm not expletive playing. You better just expletive go if you want your family to see you tomorrow," and continuing to tell the deputy to leave. Then court records show Wilson approached the steps near the deputy's location and a shootout occurred. Overnight, investigators searched the yard with a metal detector.
Oh man, it's lucky.
And cut into a wall, tracking down shell casings and more. The court records now detail at least 2 bursts of gunfire happened, with a definitive pause between them, and the deputy's body camera recorded the sounds of multiple clicks, consistent with a trigger being pulled, but a gun striking a fired cartridge or an empty chamber. Investigators found 2 guns believed to be fired by Wilson, a semi-automatic pistol and a revolver. Tonight, the Morrow County Sheriff is remembering Deputy Shear as a, quote, great guy.
And someone who always had a smile on his face. Tom Bosco is live at the Morrow County Sheriff's Office tonight with the legacy he leaves behind. A truly tough day out there, Tom.
Yeah, tough.
And the sword is being used on a high level in these last days. You know? And who's using it? Esau Edom. You know, you heard him. He said, if I die tonight, I'll be okay with that. Then he told the cop to pretty much back the F up if you want your family to see you tomorrow. So, you know, the scriptures tell you in 2nd Ezra 15 that they shall not regard their kings nor princes. So a prince would be somebody that upholds the law, man. Somebody in some kind of authority. Right? These officers have a certain amount of authority, man. And people are gonna come to the realization that you know, to hell with these officers, and to hell with these politicians, and this and that, and these types of things is gonna happen, and it's gonna increase. But the sword is being used, man, for the destruction of the wicked. That Edomite cop, he's the wicked, and that devil that killed him, he's the wicked. Right? This is Job 19:29. It says, "Be ye afraid of the sword, for wrath bringeth the punishments of the sword." And that devil, he was in full wrath. They had a shootout. One of them was going to get touched. Right? It says that ye may know there's a judgment. And this is how you know it's a judgment, man. Through the wrath and the judgment and the punishments of the sword. What's the modern day sword is the gun, right? And it could be any type of weapon, really. Right? The system is a weapon, man. Right? So, hey, man, we in that time.
Tough and emotional day, Mike and Jessica. You know, we've seen neighbors come by. You can check out this cruiser here behind us that come by, dropping off flowers and mementos here on this cruiser. The emotion raw and real this morning as the sheriff had to tell us that one of his deputies was killed in the line of duty.
I don't even know what to say.
Sheriff John Hinton's voice broke a number of times during a news conference as he had to reveal to the public the name of the deputy shot and killed Monday night. 31-year-old Daniel Shearer, shot and killed responding to a domestic violence call. He was trying to de-escalate the situation with a man who appeared to be ready to die. Here's what we know about Deputy Daniel Shearer. He leaves behind his mother and father, who live nearby. He was serving in his first law enforcement job. The sheriff says he hired Shearer in 2021, 4 years ago, and that the deputy was positive and upbeat.
Always had a smile on his face, never in a bad mood. He came to work every day. He loved this community. He loved the job.
Fellow deputies marked cruisers with black tape across the sheriff's star in honor of Shearer. That, as emotional neighbors began dropping off flowers.
Just sorry.
And these regular devils, man, they uphold these cops, man. They love these cops, man, especially in these little hick towns, man, because they all fucking devils, right? Jake come over there, all these devils, man, in law enforcement, the judges, the COs, they all in cahoots with each other, man, and they'll work together to break Jake down and unalive Jake. So we understand, man, who these people are. You can't trust none of them, man. This devil, Philip Stanley, because this is who they call for unruly niggas. This dude, Philip Stanley, he will call that devil that got put to death on a Jake for the littlest of thing. And guess what? That Jake will wind up dead, man. Right? One video, it said that the title was we are family. And they are, man. They're a family of wicked ass human beings, man. So-called human beings. They're the family of wicked devils. That's who they are, man.
Just honoring the life of the deputy.
Did you know him personally?
No.
Philip Stanley was here, tying ribbons to the cruiser. Stanley's son works at the Morrow County Sheriff's Office and says Shearer was highly thought of.
God damn. Oh.
He talked about, well, that the deputy was a good guy. He's like, we always talked to him, and he was like, he's one of my favorite deputies. He said, he just was a great guy. Was always good to be around, and was always.
Now, this is the first time that a sheriff's deputy has died in the line of duty for this county here, and only the second time a law enforcement officer has died in Morrow County while doing his duties. That last time was in 1940. Shearer's body right now is at the Montgomery County Coroner's Office in Dayton. At this point, we don't know of any plans for a procession from Dayton to Central Ohio or any funeral arrangements. Live on your side in Mount Gilead, I'm Tom Bosco, ABC 6 News.
Tom, thank you very much. The shooting also devastated what is normally a very quiet neighborhood.
Tonight, so many are in shock, saying they cannot believe this happened on their street. Kirsten Lindquist is live there tonight, and Kirsten, neighbors say they never saw this coming.
No, it's been a hard day for these neighbors, Jessica and Mike. And in fact, there's a lot of car traffic that keeps coming down this street. In fact, there was so much car traffic and police activity from last night into this morning. Neighbors tell me their kids couldn't even go to school. Now, they're also telling me that Brian Wilson, the gunman, never caused any problems before Monday night.
Nobody deserved that. And especially for the officer and his family, it's just hard.
Neighbors left in shock as a case of domestic violence leaves a Morrow County deputy dead.
The wife was over here the whole time.
Kimberly tells me she knew Deputy Daniel Shearer and the suspected shooter, Brian Wilson. She said behavior like this was uncharacteristic of Brian. Kimberly says gunfire isn't uncommon to hear in this neighborhood, but it's never been cause for concern.
Kids are target practicing, so we hear it all the time. We did not expect to hear or see what had happened.
Another neighbor took us inside her home. A stray bullet hole from across the street now through her front window.
I still got glass down here. I got to clean up.
That ricocheted off her fireplace and into her living room wall.
Just thankful we weren't here because we could have got shot.
And another bullet in her garage siding.
I think they tried to take the bullet out last night.
A tight-knit community where everyone...
It ain't that tight. Where you got stray bullets. Well, I guess, it don't only happen in Jake neighborhood, where people in the house and stray bullets coming through their window. You know, it happens over here in these little demonic, you know, towns where Jake could disappear if he wound up over there, man. You know, you could tell they're tight knit. You know, they got kids over there doing target practice, wishing they can unalive a Jake, right? That's what all these devils think about, man. It's unaliving you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, man. So now the Lord is flipping the tables on them, man. Now, the blessing that you've been using for all of these years against the Israelites, now you're using it on yourself. See how beautiful the Lord is, man? And it's gonna get worse. These devils are gonna eat each other when times get worse, man. As the times get worse and the miseries increase, watch how these devils they eat each other, man. Right? This is Mark chapter 3 and verse, I'm gonna start at 25. And it reads, it says, well, I'll start at 24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And whose kingdom is this? The kingdom of the wicked, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You know, this is his kingdom. But it was only supposed to be it's only a kingdom for a certain amount of time, man. And we are at the time of his kingdom falling. We are at the time of him being exposed, right? We are at the end of his kingdom, right? So it says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand, right? And if Satan rise up against himself, and you had Satan rise up against Satan, man, right? These two devils. It says, and be divided, because they are divided, man, from the top to the bottom, from the everyday Edomite to the powers that be Edomites, man. They're all divided, right? It says, and if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And we are at the end. We are at the end, man. You know, this is it for this devil. You know, this is it for him, man. So we just gonna sit back and watch these devils bug the hell out and unalive each other, man. Let's continue.
Knows each other.
Sad to hear something like this happen.
Now trying to pick up the pieces after tragedy hits their own backyard.
When you know somebody, but then you don't know the other side of them, it's rough.
Are you worried that using your
damn.
home address for business puts your privacy at risk? At iPostal One,
Wilson was last said to be at Grant Medical Center in serious condition. The Delaware County Sheriff's Office is leading this investigation. And if you or someone you know is involved in a domestic violence situation, you are not alone, and help is available 24/7 for free. Dial 8788 at 8788. Dial the start or begin to receive that domestic violence hotline help. For now, in Morrow County, live on your side, Kirsten Lindquist, ABC 6 News.
We are learning more about the suspect's past. According to court records, he has a criminal history that dates back 30 years in Marion County. In September of 1994, he was charged with assault. In August of 97, he was charged in a case of domestic violence. In June of 2003, a disorderly conduct charge.
And this is the devil for you, man. See, I'm surprised they even putting this up, because this is how they do Jake, man. When Jake do something, they'll bring up his whole rap sheet. And you'll see it, and then you'll be like, oh, he was a bad guy, man. He deserved it. But look at this devil, man. Since 1994, man. This devil been at it. Right? Domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, man. So he likes beating women. He likes beating women, man. You know, and a lot of these devils, they the same way. Chop women up. This is why when, you know, Eve get with these devils, hey, you reap what you sow, man.
He was convicted in each of those cases. Now, this is his mugshot from February 2009 when he was charged again with domestic violence. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge in that case.
Deputy Shearer is the second Ohio law enforcement officer to be killed in the line of duty so far this year. Retired Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson was hit by a car while working a special assignment handling traffic at the University of Cincinnati graduation on May 2nd. Rodney Hinton Jr. is charged with murder in this case. Prosecutors say he intentionally rammed into Henderson. A death penalty trial for Hinton is set to begin in June.
And you see how they flip it, right? Okay, so the so-called Negro, he unalives a deputy and gets a death penalty, right? Trying to get a death penalty charge. But then this devil, he shoots a deputy, and it's just nothing. He's just going to jail. You know? You see the hypocrisy and the double standard that's in this fucking country, man. It's unbelievable, man. This is why the Lord is going to erase and eradicate the nation of Edom, man. Right? This is why he's going to do that. But he don't want to stay on this topic. He want to move it on to a so-called Negro. He want to make that a worse thing, man. Right? Never mind the deputy killing his son, man. And then lying, saying that the son had a gun. You just more focused on him killing the deputy, man. Keep it on this topic. Fucking devil. This is Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon the swift cloud. The Lord, that's Yahushua, man. Riding on a swift cloud, meaning a chariot. Right? A so-called UFO. And shall come into Egypt, and he's coming. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. Everything, man. And the heart of Egypt, meaning the spirit of Egypt, the wickedness, shall melt in the midst of it, man. So the Lord's coming to burn this place up, man. He's coming to take Esau, Edom out of power and burn up this wicked-ass society, man. This wicked-ass kingdom. Verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Right? These devils, they're going to be at it, at each other, man. At each other's throats. It says, and they shall fight everyone his brother and everyone his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. That's what's coming, man. Right? There's going to be a war within, and it's going to be a race war. It's going to be a war against the Edomites. It's going to be Edomite on Edomite crime. It's going to be Jake on Jake crime. Jake fighting Esau, Esau fighting Jacob, and all the nations and everybody, man. They're going to be all in the mix. But the two major players is Esau, Edom, and Jacob, right? Which Jacob represents the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, the Israelites. And Esau, Edom, that represents so-called white man. So, yeah, it's about the hit, man. It's really about the hit. I got one more. We're going to shut it down.
January. Before today, nationwide, 26 officers had lost their lives in the line of duty since January 1st. That is a drop of 66% from this same time last year. That's according to the Officer Down Memorial page. 13 of those officers died by gunfire.
We do want to continue to remind you, as Kirsten just did, that if you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, there is help available. Call the number on your screen, 1-800-799-7233. You can also text the word START or BEGIN to 88788. Help is always available 24/7, and you can stay anonymous.
So you seen it, man. Let me get a picture of him up. These guys, these goddamn infomercials or whatever. Let's play it over. Nah. Let me go back. I want to get that. I want to get Fat Neck up there. Yeah, Fat Neck. This will be my last one. We're gonna shut it down. This is 2 Ezra chapter 12. And verse 28, because this is ultimately what's going to happen to all these devils, man. It says, for the sword of the one shall devour the other. So the same way this devil devoured another devil with the sword, the gun, it says, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself, man. So that's coming to him too. That's coming to him and his nation. These devils on their way out, man. You know, I'm going to leave it there. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua willing, the elect with the other Father. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. And hey, just sit back, relax, and watch these devils unalive each other and lose it and bug out, you know, and go on their rants and get knocked out, right? You're about to see the true nature of Esau Edom in these last days, man. And we love it. Till the next lesson, say shalom.